I think I want to put him in C tier. But that's only the first of 72 enemies I'm going to rank today. I killed one of each enemy in the game to accurately place them in this tier list. And the best way to do that? By only using sticks. And this time, don't worry, it will all be without fuses. So don't worry about commenting, I've heard it all. Meaning that at the end, I'll have to take down a Gleeok with only a stick. Well, actually 4 Gleeoks, but that's beside the point. Now the blue bokoblin is pretty similar to the red one, but it's blue. Black bokoblins generally have better weapons, and silver bokoblins seem to swing and swing and swing and swing. There's also variations of these guys that can somehow ride bears. And of course, the often forgotten Stalkoblins are here too. The Stalkoblin fandom is dying. Subscribe if you're a real stalker. The Moblin family are quite similar to the bokoblins. The only difference is their attacks are a lot more wild. You can often just stay away from them and wait for them to stop attacking, or even just get close to them and attack them while they're swinging at nothing. And the Stormoblins are just kind of there again. Lizalfos have some of the most variety in the game, with the standard 4 variants along with the elemental Lizals that bring new movesets and counters to the Lizal class. They're also really scary when they start spitting at you. They're way harder to attack than some dumb Moblin. Horriblins were a new addition to Tears of the Kingdom. They kinda just hang on walls and throw shit down at you. They also have a glaring weakness of water, which obviously can help you take them out in a pinch. I also found out while researching this video that they're based on the proboscis monkey, which were actually the first and only animal to learn to speak English. Subscribe to Hrry on YouTube. The boss bokoblins are some of the first bigger enemies you'll encounter. They have a lot more health than any of the previous enemies, and are often accompanied by bokoblins following them on a conga line. But these are also the first enemies that you technically can't beat with just sticks. The silver ones have a bit too much health to be taken out by a full inventory of sticks. But if you had an unbreakable stick, you'd be back in the game. And look, don't question this, but throughout the video, some of these enemies need this unbreakable stick, so I had to edit this into my game file, so don't ask. But since they're so durable, I'll have to give them some bonus points. Choo-choos are pretty easy to take down. I mean, look. But if you take them out like that, you'd miss all the cool shit they can do, like spawning keys and excreting elemental gases when jumping. Talking about keys, they're similar in the way that the normal ones are just piss easy, the fire ones aren't all that hard, the electric ones are annoying, and the ice ones are insane. Literally the hardest enemy in the game. The Octorok variations are pretty cool in my opinion. The water Octoroks aren't all that camouflaged, the forest and snow Octoroks are way too camouflaged. The treasure Octoroks feel like a human cheese trap. And the rock Octoroks have this cool mechanic of cleaning your weapon when they suck them up. Also, isn't it just nuts they didn't call them just Rocktoroks? Like, come on Nintendo, it was right there. When I first saw a like in Tears of the Kingdom, I was kinda scared. They were a new enemy that honestly did look pretty threatening. But then I beat that one, and every like since. And they ain't shit. The elemental likes are cool. I like how they throw up balls of ice, lightning, and fire. But if I had to give props to one of the likes, it's the rock one. It's the first enemy on this list that you can't beat with sticks. Like, not even an infinite stick. The problem is, like, you keep hitting it, you need some kind of, like, hammer object to beat these guys. So because of that, the like class is going to have an unlikely S tier placement. When I was going through recording these fights, the Whizrobes were actually the monster I learnt the most about. First of all, I never knew they had 6 different variations of a Whizrobe. One normal for each element, along with a crazy variant for each one. The second thing I hadn't noticed was that they had faces. I don't know how I never realized this. I think I always just thought there was nothing under the hoods. Now there were a few enemies that didn't really fit into their own categories, so I put those ones here. The Arrokuda was a cool addition to Tears of the Kingdom. The fact that there's now sky attacks is kind of scary, but I like it. The Evermean is another enemy that freaked me out when I first saw it, and another one that's impossible to defeat with a stick. So I have to put this one in S tier too. The little Froxes are kind of annoying, but that's about it. And the Gloom Hands are single-handedly the reason why I struggle to sleep at night. The Peblets may seem like another easy one. I mean, all you do is pick them up and they're dead. But if you haven't figured it out already, they cannot die to a stick. No matter how many times you swing at it, how many times you charge attack it, they're impenetrable. So therefore, by my own rules, I have to put all 3 of them in the S tier. Now I know I was talking about scary enemies earlier, but these guys are really scary. The normal Gibdos just kind of wander around, maybe looking a little bit drunk, but the winged Gibdos are pretty unapologetic with how much they've had to drink. The Yiga clan enemies are pretty annoying to encounter, but easy to dispatch, even with just sticks. You just kind of run around them and swing at them. But I'm realizing now that that's just kind of most enemies in this game. Moving on. The soldier constructs are an excellent addition to the game. Another scalable enemy type that gathers in camps like bokoblins. And overall, I'd say they're pretty tough to take down at the higher ends. But the captains at the lower ends, again, fine. But the Captain Construct 4 might sneakily be one of the hardest enemies in the game. Insane HP count, hard hitting, and another one that I needed an infinite stick to take down. They also do this crazy thing where they fuse their weapon with nearby objects, and that makes their fights unique every single time. Which personally is a pretty big factor in me putting these guys in the A tier. Maybe you'd think that the Lionels would be amongst the hardest to take down on this list, and you'd be somewhat right. I mean, you still have to dodge all their attacks, and they still hit hard when they connect on those attacks. But ultimately, it's just about outlasting them. You get used to a lot of their attack patterns, and you learn to dodge them pretty easily. I was still getting hit a fair bit, so don't get me wrong. But because it's pretty easy to take these guys out with only a stick, I'm gonna have to dock them points. But I won't be docking points for the next one. The Gleeok fights were the ones I was dreading the most, because I didn't really know how I'd approach it. And you can tell by my first attempt that I really didn't even have a plan going into this fight. And at some point, I was just asking myself here, is it even possible to beat them with just a stick? I mean, you can't really get close to them, and you need to stun all three of their heads to somehow start getting melee damage in. And so I came to the conclusion, it was impossible. And trust me, I tried everything on all of them. I'd need some kind of outside help to take the heads down before using the sticks. So I got to work. And look, maybe that wasn't as satisfying because I had to use a bow, but I don't really care, man. This was my video.